Most people aren't addicted to failure, they're addicted to dopamine. Think about it. Every time you scroll on your phone, binge a show, or devour that sugary snack, your brain rewards you with a tiny hit of pleasure. It feels amazing, quick, easy, effortless. But here's the catch: that same chemical hit that makes you feel good in the moment is the exact reason you struggle to stay disciplined in the long run. Because while dopamine gives you a rush, it doesn't give you results. And that's the silent trap of our generation. We're drowning in quick pleasures while starving for long-term growth. Every time you choose the instant hit, you sacrifice the bigger win that was waiting down the road. You skip the workout for the dopamine hit of staying comfortable. You spend an hour scrolling instead of building the skill that could change your life. You eat the junk food instead of fueling your body for energy and strength. The result? A life full of temporary highs and permanent regrets. But here's the truth: it's not your fault. Your brain was designed for survival, not for success in the modern world. For thousands of years, dopamine was the signal that said, "Good job." That food kept you alive. That shelter kept you safe. That fire kept you warm. Dopamine was survival. But today, dopamine is being hijacked. Apps, ads, and algorithms know exactly how to hook you. They feed you endless quick hits so you never stop scrolling, never stop watching, never stop consuming. And the more you chase the hit, the weaker your discipline becomes. But there's another way. There's a power most people never unlock, and it's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who rise. That power is discipline. And in this video, we're going to break it all down: why dopamine makes you feel good but keeps you weak, how discipline feels hard but makes you strong, and how you can train yourself to stop chasing the hit and start building the life. Because dopamine gives you pleasure, but discipline gives you freedom. So let's break this down. What exactly is dopamine and why does it matter so much? Dopamine is often called the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It's actually the motivation chemical. It doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you want more of what gave you that feeling. It's your brain's way of saying, "Yes, do that again." That kept us alive. From an evolutionary standpoint, dopamine was perfect. When food was scarce, a hit of dopamine for finding berries or catching an animal meant survival. When shelter was rare, dopamine rewarded us for building fire or finding cover. It pushed humans to repeat behaviors that increased our chances of living another day. But here's the problem: the modern world has hijacked this system. Today, you don't have to hunt for berries, you just open an app. You don't have to build fire, you just press a button. Everything is designed to give you dopamine hits instantly. Sugar, fast food, social media, video games, endless scrolling. And while each of these feels good in the moment, they come with a hidden cost. Every spike is followed by a crash. The more you chase, the less satisfied you feel, so you go back again and again and again. That's why you can scroll for hours and feel empty afterwards. That's why junk food makes you crave more instead of feeling full. That's why one more episode turns into an entire season. Dopamine is not the enemy, but the way it's being used against you is. Because here's the truth: when your brain is trained to expect rewards instantly, discipline starts to feel impossible. Why wait months for the body you want when a slice of pizza gives you a hit right now? Why study for years when a TikTok gives you a laugh in seconds? This is the war between dopamine and discipline. One gives you quick pleasure, the other builds long-term power. And if you don't learn how to master your dopamine, it will master you. Here's where most people get stuck. Instant pleasure feels harmless. What's wrong with a little scrolling? What's wrong with one more episode, one more snack, one more quick hit? The problem isn't the moment. The problem is the training. Every time you give in to an instant hit of pleasure, you're teaching your brain a powerful lesson. I don't have to wait. Reward comes now and slowly. Without realizing it, your attention span shrinks. Your tolerance for discomfort disappears. Your ability to persist weakens. Think about it like food. Candy gives you quick energy, but it crashes fast and leaves you hungry again. Real meals, protein, vegetables, slow carbs, take longer to prepare, but they fuel you for hours. Instant pleasure is candy for the mind. It gives you the spike, but no substance. Discipline is the full meal. It's harder up front, but it sustains you. Here's the dangerous part. Modern life is built like a casino. Apps, games, and feeds are designed to hook you with tiny dopamine hits. You think you're choosing freely, but in reality, the system is training you to crave the short-term reward and avoid long-term effort. And that's why so many people give up on their goals. The gym feels too hard compared to the instant comfort of the couch. Reading a book feels too slow compared to the endless stream of memes. Building a business feels too overwhelming compared to the quick buzz of likes and notifications. This is the trap. The more you choose instant pleasure, the less capable you become of pursuing the bigger rewards. But here's the truth most people miss. The quick reward always costs more than it gives. It costs you your patience. It costs you your resilience. It costs you the future you could have built if you waited. The trap of instant pleasure isn't that it feels good. The trap is that it keeps you from discovering what you're truly capable of. If dopamine is the quick hit, then discipline is the long game. And here's the truth, discipline is what builds everything worth having. Discipline is choosing the workout when your body says stay in bed. Discipline is writing one more page when your brain says check your phone. Discipline is saving money when your impulses say spend it now. In the moment, discipline feels heavy. It feels unfair. It feels boring. But over time, it transforms you. Why? Because discipline teaches you something dopamine never can: patience. Patience is what allows a seed to become a tree. It's what allows months of training to turn into an athlete's performance. It's what allows years of practice to turn into mastery. Discipline is like planting those seeds. You don't see results right away, and that's why so many people quit. But if you keep showing up, if you keep watering, keep training, keep working, the results compound. Here's what most people don't realize. Discipline doesn't just build results, it builds identity. Every time you follow through, you're proving to yourself, I'm the kind of person who can do hard things. I'm the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. That identity becomes a shield. While others crumble under discomfort, you've trained yourself to endure. While others need motivation, you've built systems that carry you forward. And here's the hidden power. Once discipline becomes part of you, it doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels like freedom, freedom from distractions, freedom from regret, freedom to choose your path instead of being pulled around by every impulse. Because dopamine gives you pleasure, but discipline gives you power. And in a world designed to steal your attention, power belongs to the few who can wait, endure, and persist. So the big question is, how do you actually train discipline in a world designed to keep you hooked on dopamine? The answer is simple. You don't fight dopamine head-on. You retrain your brain with small, deliberate steps. Here are 3 powerful ways to do it. 1. Dopamine detox. A dopamine detox isn't about quitting technology forever. It's about creating intentional breaks from overstimulation. Try 1 hour a day without your phone, or a full morning without social media. Go for a walk without music or podcasts. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your brain craves the quick hit. But soon you'll notice something powerful. Silence starts to feel refreshing. Boredom becomes space for new ideas. Your mind learns to settle again. 2. Micro-delays. Discipline doesn't have to start with huge sacrifices. It can start with a 2-minute pause. The next time you want to check your phone, wait 2 minutes. The next time you crave junk food, say, not yet. These tiny delays rewire your brain. They teach you that you don't need to obey every impulse. Over time, those micro-delays stack into massive self-control. 3. Process rituals. Most people only reward themselves for outcomes, but champions learn to reward the process. Instead of waiting until you finish the marathon to feel proud, celebrate showing up for training. Instead of only celebrating a finished project, reward yourself for the focused work sessions that got you there. When you fall in love with the grind, the results take care of themselves. And here's the key: you don't have to be perfect, you just have to practice. Every detox, every micro delay, every process ritual is a rep. And just like lifting weights, those reps make you stronger over time. The goal isn't to kill dopamine, it's to put dopamine back in its place as a reward for meaningful effort, not as a master controlling your life. Because in the end, the strongest people aren't the ones who never feel temptation. They're the ones who train their minds to choose discipline over dopamine again and again. Tools are powerful, but here's the truth. Lasting change doesn't come from hacks. It comes from identity. Because if you see yourself as someone who's trying to be disciplined, you'll always be battling temptation. But if you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, the fight changes. From trying to being. Think about the difference between these two statements. I'm trying to stop being distracted. I'm the kind of person who protects my focus. One sounds weak, the other sounds unshakable. That's the identity shift. You stop thinking of discipline as something you do occasionally, and you start thinking of it as who you are. Votes for your future self. Every decision you make is a vote for the kind of person you become. When you resist checking your phone, you cast a vote for patience. When you finish the workout, you cast a vote for resilience. When you delay the reward, you cast a vote for strength. No single vote makes the identity, but stack enough of them and soon your brain stops questioning who you are. You're no longer someone trying. You've become someone who doesn't quit. Self-talk as reprogramming. Here's a simple tool. Every time you win against temptation, talk to yourself. Say, "This is who I am. I am the type of person who waits. I am the type of person who chooses long-term growth over short-term pleasure." It may sound small, but your brain is always listening, and the more you reinforce that story, the stronger it becomes. Why identity beats willpower. Willpower runs out, motivation fades, but identity is steady. When you believe, "I am disciplined," you don't have to push as hard. Temptation feels out of character. Patience feels natural. That's why champions don't just practice discipline, they embody it. Discipline isn't their task, it's their identity. So here's the takeaway. Don't just try to fight dopamine. Don't just practice self-control. Become the person who naturally chooses discipline. Because once you change who you are, the battle isn't uphill anymore, it's automatic. So let's bring it all together. Dopamine feels good in the moment. It's the quick hit, the instant pleasure, the shortcut. But here's the truth. Dopamine gives you pleasure, while discipline gives you power. Every time you choose instant gratification, you trade your future for comfort. But every time you choose discipline, you're building something that lasts: patience, strength, mastery. The real edge. Most people aren't failing because they lack talent. They're failing because they can't wait. They're trapped in the cycle of now, and they never discover the power of later. But those who learn to delay gratification, they win. Not because it's easy, but because it's rare. In a world addicted to shortcuts, the person who can wait, persist, and endure has an almost unfair advantage. The final line. So remember this: instant gratification gives you comfort. Delayed gratification gives you freedom. The strongest people aren't the ones who move the fastest. They're the ones who can wait the longest. And if you want the future most people will never reach, you have to resist the comfort most people never leave. The call to action. If this video lit a fire in you, if you're ready to build patience, resilience, and the kind of discipline that wins long-term, then this is your place. Subscribe to Unbreakable Mind. Here, we don't just talk about mindset, we train it. We don't just chase comfort, we master discipline. We don't just survive the distractions of today, we build strength for tomorrow. So hit that button, join the community, and let's keep building unbreakable minds together.